Hey everybody, Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant. I'm delighted to be with Paul Claesson from Hasselblad. Paul, happy to see you again.
Hugh, nice to see you again as well.
It was just 2 months ago that we got together and you took us through the H6D. Quite an amazing amount of feedback on the tremendous user interface that you guys had there.
Yes, it has been, and the camera was well received, and it was actually beyond our wildest expectations in terms of reception from the photographers and even the sell-through. So extremely popular.
Today, this really is a new kind of camera for Hasselblad, isn't it? The X1D.
This is. It is the first in a new line of cameras. It's a medium format mirrorless camera that accepts or has a 50 million pixel sensor in it. And we wanted something that was lightweight and compact, that just delivers the best in terms of image quality.
A couple of things with this camera. One, it's taking the 50 megapixel sensor from the H6D 50C, correct?
Correct.
And yet, what I hear from Anders Espersen is that it actually offers maybe one stop more low light sensitivity.
It does. You know, the range goes from 100 up to ISO 26,600. So it is one stop more than even the H6D 100C.
And you've also pulled the user interface from the H6D.
Well, this is going to be a common theme for Hasselblad. So if you look at the rear display, this is really identical to what you'll see with an H6D. So this is our first foray into touchscreen with the H6D. Now that user interface is carrying over to the X1D. So it's just a matter of swiping up or swiping down. If you want to go into to look at an image, we can just do so. So touchscreen is the same interface between the two cameras. There are some slight differences between them. One is mirrorless and the other one is more of a modular medium format system.
Now you've also introduced a new lens line with this. You've got two lenses planned at launch, the 45 and the 90.
Correct. So 45 f3.5 and a 90 3.2. So two lenses available at launch. We will have, we're making another announcement at PHOTOWALK. We will have a 30 millimeter f3.5 will also be available. And we will continue to expand on the XCD line.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. The XCD line in the future. So we'll add additional focal lengths and additional accessories for the camera over a period of months and years. So we'll really continue to flesh out the availability of product.
I really want to focus on the design philosophy and the design choices. So taking a look at these new lenses, it's a focus ring only, no aperture on the lens itself.
That's correct. So the XCD lenses, we have a manual focus. The camera is autofocus, so you do have the option for single autofocus or you can go manual. And the way we have the layouts of the buttons, it's very easy. It's just a matter of pressing MF or AF, so you can just tell the camera with one button push, I want AF or...
I have to say, I love, as I did before, the physical interface as well, and I like this.
Just pop up, control wheel.
So
that's a wonderful thing.
You set it to whatever you want, and then you drop it down, and that's it.
That's it.
Done.
It's set, it's locked into place.
I really like this.
And what's really nice too, and I think this is just a well thought out design. If you lift up the control wheel, and as you make a change, it actually appears on the rear display. And it's a little thing, but it's those little bits of details which I think that Hasselblad looks for, and I appreciate. So I just lock that into place, and then you're good to go. So no chance of actually accidentally adjusting that wheel when you're shooting.
There's no image stabilization on this. I did speak with Anders a little bit earlier, and he said that was a very conscious decision because it degrades image quality. So that was very interesting to learn. I spoke with Michael also about the video capabilities here. and this is limited at launch to 1080 and 2425p.
It's going to be 25p.
Right. And what I heard from him is that this is new territory for Hasselblad.
It is. It's not something that we're emphasizing. We have a video which we incorporated into the H6D, HD for the 50C, and for the 100C we did 4K video. So it's not something that we're emphasizing or even actively promoting. So we just have it as an additional feature within the camera.
I guess you'll allow the market to tell you what works.
Yeah, the market will dictate, what they're looking for.
Another interesting design trade-off is that I understand that there is no in-camera lens compensation. That if there's any correction to be done, it's done in the Focus software in post.
That's correct. And that's something that goes back to 2006 when we incorporated digital auto corrections. Hasselblad had mapped all of our lenses, and we started with the HCD line of lenses. So anything for an H camera, we could actually correct for distortion, vignetting, and chromatic aberration. And through the years, we incorporated the corrections for V-system lenses. So we had 28 lenses that we had mapped and calibrated for our mechanical lens line. And we're doing the same thing with the X1D. And it's a user selectable. You can choose to activate it or deactivate it. It's entirely up to you, and you can select whatever the parameters are. But we will map all of these lenses as we have with our previous system or our current system with the X6D.
Now, another choice, there are dual card slots. You pointed that out earlier.
Correct.
But these are SD, not something like CFast or XQD.
Right. So we're trying to keep in terms of the compact design. Having something with a CFast would add tremendously to the size and overall weight and the card selections that we had to use for the internal integrated components. So SD offered us an advantage in terms of being a smaller scale size, having a more compact camera, and having an inclusion of 2 slots. So we can actually shoot from one slot and have a variety of different options. So with 2 card slots, I can actually shoot RAW to one and JPEG to a secondary card, or shoot 2 RAW files having one serve as backup would be another option.
It's interesting because although you're not offering 4K at this moment, the SDXC cards are now fast enough. I see that there's 180 megabits per second, 300 megabytes per second on the Transcend and Lexar cards, which are good enough for Blackmagic to use in their 4K video assist. So there is a growth path within the current body and the current hardware configuration.
Well, that might be within the hardware configuration, but the limitation for us is going to be with the sensor. It's just not really permitted to do or not capable of doing a 4K video.
Okay.
So we have an entirely new sensor design when they came out with the 100C, the CMOS sensor. We had the ability to do 4K.
Gotcha.
So I don't likely expect a 4K video with this camera in this generation or any future generation. It will be HD video, 1080p.
That's very helpful to know. Okay. Well, it's extraordinarily compact. It's only 100 grams more than my own Sony a6300, which kind of blows my mind.
It's a wonderful thing.
And it feels just tremendous in hand, the way the front and rear dials go.
And this one thing I just want to point out,
You had to do
this.
Yeah, well,
A rather large 50 million pixel sensor.
Yeah.
Just a staggeringly large sensor, which we've incorporated and used in the X1D.
So is this Hasselblad's version of Get Big or Get Lost?
It could be, play with the big boys, step up.
Well, Paul, so this camera is not yet out in the market. I heard earlier that there are 7 pre-production cameras that'll be making the rounds over the next weeks.
Yeah, next few weeks we'll have the traveling around and meeting press and visiting our various dealers that have not seen the camera and traveled to New York. We will have the first demo cameras that will be shipping to our dealers in the US or in the Americas. That will take place towards the end of July. And the final shipping cameras, the completed cameras, will ship at the end of August, first week of September.
Let's talk about the price, because the last Hasselblad that I looked at just a couple of months ago was $33,000.
Well, that would sound too bad. We tried to find a more
This is called a big fat pitch across the
yeah, an attractive price point, $89.95 for the body. each additional lens, add another $2,300 or so to the cost.
Paul, I don't know if you were party to this, but was there a lot of gnashing of the teeth back in Gothenburg about coming in at prices this aggressive for the Hasselblad brand?
It was certainly discussed, yes. But I think they wanted to have something that was, at what they thought as an attractive price point that would actually bring in more users to the Hasselblad system and our line. Expose those that were not familiar with it. Attract a new audience to Hasselblad. And price is one way to do it. So it's certainly lower, much lower than our medium format modular systems, our professional systems. So this is really an entirely new market.
One other thing that I wanted to address is this notion of who actually developed this camera. Some rumors out there that this was a joint venture with Fuji. There were many questions about whether Sony's involvement extended beyond the sensor. Can you comment on that?
Absolutely. This is 100% Hasselblad DNA. There's no association with Fuji in this camera whatsoever, not even the lenses. The only involvement from Sony is the sensors. That is it. And I mentioned with Sony, Hasselblad 100% DNA, which means that the concept, the design, the layout, all the prototypes was all Hasselblad. It was conceptualized in Sweden. It was manufactured in Sweden. All the software, firmware, all the hardware architecture was created in Sweden. So it is truly, a wonderful camera, handcrafted, hand-built in Sweden.
Well, I am thrilled for you, as I was with the H6D. This is compared to most people who read our stuff, who look at our blogs, this is very expensive, but it is dramatically less expensive than what Hasselblad has stood for before. And it's within reach if someone wants to have that experience.
I think it is, and it's something to keep in mind. I mean, you should just, maybe do yourself a service and just try the camera out. Go down, have a demo at one of our dealers.
Sold, yeah, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to, why would somebody select this? And it really comes down to image quality. First and foremost, it's not just the build quality of the camera. I do believe that we make the finest.
Which is tremendous.
Yeah, we make the finest cameras in the world. So I do firmly believe in that. But it comes down to the image quality of the files. It's when you look at the detail that you find in each raw capture. That's the proof in the pudding. That's what sets us apart from everybody else. And even the small format mirrorless cameras. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool.
Well, again, Paul, congratulations to you and the rest of the team.
Well, thank you.
I'm looking forward to getting my American mitts on one of these, other than just for an hour or so. But it really does feel incredible. And preliminary sense of looking through that big viewfinder is lovely, especially when you get to be my age. And all the best.
Thank you. Very much appreciated. Nice seeing you again.
Vice versa. Hugh Brownstone, 3 Blind Men and an Elephant. We are out of here. Oh, you had to do that. Okay.
You can cut that out.
No, I want to keep it.
No, don't do it.
Oh, yeah.